When to buy home insurance when buying a house. If you have a property that you expect to rent out or you already have one that is let, you have a duty to make sure that your asset is as secure as possible. Considering you are entrusting your property to total strangers, you must ensure that it is fully protected, and one of the most crucial steps you can take towards protection is getting the appropriate insurance coverage. Landlords must be aware that standard home insurance is not adequate coverage for let properties. Apart from the fact that insurers will not cover a home with standard insurance if the owner does not reside there, and will deny any claims if they weren't informed from the outset that the house is being let, standard insurance doesn't offer the same benefits as insurance designed explicitly for landlords. Let property insurance, also known as landlord's insurance, includes the building and contents coverage that one would expect from standard household policies, but crucially it also includes options for rent protection, liability coverage, and legal expenses. You can take out whichever options best suit your requirements, bearing in mind that leaving yourself underinsured is not fundamentally in your best interests. Homeowners are of course unlikely to purposely harm the property they live in, but tenants might not be as thoughtful considering they don't own the property and may be less caring about its upkeep and maintenance. Further problems such as blocked drains, leaky taps and roofs and disrepair could go unreported and as such unfixed if the tenants believe it's the landlord's responsibility and not theirs, and ascend into larger problems that result in problems costing thousands to repair. Building cover, when taken out as part of a landlord's insurance policy, will protect the building against damage resulting from the common insurable events that standard insurance covers, but it also includes cover against malicious and avoidable damage. Contents insurance can be added to the building coverage, and this will protect a landlord's contents against willful as well as unintended damage. Even if your tenants are not wittingly destructive, they are unfortunately less likely to treat your property and its contents with the same thoughtfulness they would their own, and depending on the tenant types may be less concerned about engaging in potentially damaging activities such as hosting out-of-control parties. Contents insurance will help to replace damaged items such as kitchen and bathroom fixtures, carpets, curtains, and other items that are owned by the landlord, including appliances and furniture. You might not be especially attached to the contents you have in your let property, but the cost to replace them could quickly mount up to a substantive amount, and having contents insurance will help prevent you from having to bear the cost. It should be highlighted again that insurers won't pay out for claims made on buildings or contents coverage unless the policy is specifically for a let property, as landlord's insurance takes into account the fact that the owner is not in residence, while standard home insurance does not. Of the other coverage options obtainable as part of a landlord's insurance policy, rent guarantee could be the difference between landlords meeting their mortgage payments rather than losing their properties. An unfortunate aspect of the rental market is that tenants can't always be relied upon to pay the rent on time, either out of plain undependability or as a result of matters beyond their control such as loss of income due to an illness or job layoff. According to National Landlords Association research published recently, over a 6-month period 44% of landlords reported experiencing rental arrears, which is a very high number, seeing many landlords rely heavily on the regular income to meet their mortgage payments. Having rent guarantee cover helps to ensure that you will still have money coming in every month for a predetermined period should your tenants default on their rent, and may also include continued rental payment amounts during periods when the property is empty and awaiting new tenants. An additional convenient aspect of rent guarantee that landlords can select is legal expenses coverage, which can aid landlords if legal action is required to evict tenants or force them to pay rent. Let property policies can also include an option for liability coverage. If a tenant suffers an injury as the result of a fault with the property, that is the landlord's responsibility to maintain. Liability insurance will help cover any resulting legal expenses and damages amounts awarded. In summary, standard home insurance doesn't provide sufficient coverage for let properties. If you as a landlord want your property and contents to be covered with valid insurance, and if you want to take advantage of the additional coverage options that are necessary to protect yourself against potential liability and rent payment issues, you must obtain landlord's insurance.